Call the meeting to order. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, all members are present. We have Shallon here. Vicki, you want to do the honors of swearing him in?
Hey, Shallon, if you'll stand and raise your right hand. I, Shallon Wilbur, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the State of Minnesota and the City Code of Sauk Center, and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Council.
Sure. And faithfully
Discharge the duties of the office of City Council. City Council of the City of Sauk Center in the County of Stearns and the State of Minnesota. State of Minnesota. To the best of my judgment and ability. So help me God. Thank you. You're now sworn in.
Welcome.
I didn't realize there was going to be a memory test.
Welcome. Approval of the agenda. We have one addition, 7I, approved grant application from Black Oak for the outdoor hockey arena. Is there any other council have any changes other than that? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with that addition?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Heidi.
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Approval of the minutes of the November 13th, 2020 special meeting and the November 18th, 2020 regular meeting. You all received them in your packet. Is there any changes, corrections, or clarification needed for either one of those meetings? Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 13th and November 18th meetings?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't at the Friday, the
Okay.
13th meeting.
You can do that. 4 in favor, none against, 1 abstention. This then brings us to the public open forum. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak to the council? This will be concerning any items not on the public hearing that we have tonight or on the agenda. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council? The public open forum is closed. We will then move on to our public hearing. We will recess the council meeting and go into our public hearing. We have a public hearing before us this evening regarding the proposed total budget and property taxes. It is our intention that everyone has the opportunity to be heard. If you wish to speak, please sign in on the sign-up sheet at the back of the room. Procedure is as follows. Presentation by staff, followed by questions of staff, then public input. Raise your hand. When recognized by the mayor, approach the podium and state your name and address for the record. State your comments and position. No one will be allowed to speak a second time until everyone has had a chance to be heard. First, we will hear questions for clarification. Secondly, public in favor of the proposal. And then third, public speaking against the proposal. After everyone who wishes to speak has had the opportunity to be heard, the hearing will be closed. After closure of the public hearing, the council will deliberate and take action as appropriate. Members of the audience do not participate in the council's discussion unless a majority of the council concedes to hear additional information or questions. The hearing is now in session.
So as you said, this is the public hearing for the adoption of the 2021 revenue expense budget and the 2021 proposed levy. You all had an opportunity to review the budget in our budget workshop that we held earlier, and this budget before you reflects any changes you made at that time. It also reflects a few changes that came in since that time, like our health insurance rates and that type of thing. Otherwise, nothing substantive has been changed. The resulting budget that you have before you has in the general fund, which is the most common fund that we refer to, has a revenue versus expenditure shortfall of about $99,000. This is not uncommon. Generally, if we adopt a budget with a little bit of a shortfall in it throughout the year, you're able to make up for that, whether by delaying expenditures or having additional revenue, and that's something we watch throughout the year. We ask that a levy increase to cover the increased costs of 4% to be certified at the time of the preliminary levy. We estimated that that would not create an increase in the tax rate due to new development. This did result in an overall decrease in the city, actually, by about 0.5%. So our rate went from 48.745 to 47.910. That new rate was applied to property values and was sent to property owners in the last few weeks. You all received yours in the mail. I don't know, I'm getting feedback here. Other potential reasons for increase are, so if you had a flat value change, there was no value change to your home, your city tax would have gone down. A lot of people did see a value increase, so they would have kind of a comparable increase in taxes. Other reasons could be changes in the county or in the school. One thing I will note is that the school voter-approved levy a couple years ago has now kind of hit the books, I should say, and so you will probably notice that on your property tax statement. It does include several proposed transfer at year end, and so at that time, that's when we look at the budget and decide at that point whether or not we'll make those transfers. So that's kind of all the different changes. I did include in your packet just why your property taxes change from year to year, kind of as a refresher for you, in case you have any additional questions. And then also I included a summary of the revenue to expense comparisons. Our total 2021 revenue proposed budget is $8,450,463, and a total proposed expense budget of $8,209,338. So a variance of revenues over expenditures of $241,000 and some change. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So we are going in the right direction. I also included tax rate trends of all 30 cities in Stearns County to show everybody kind of knows how do we rank compared to other cities. And we're at number 15 of 30, so we're right in the middle of the pack. Do you have any questions so far on the budget or the levy?
Questions?
Go ahead, I don't live in St. Joseph or Wade Park.
Any questions or comments? Okay. Everyone understands? Basically, in 2006, our tax rate for Sauk Center was at 75. We are now down at 47.9. So in the last 15 years, we've been doing the right thing, or at least I hope the public sees that we're working for them. So if there's nothing else, then we will ask for public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that has any questions or needs clarification or wants to speak in favor or against the budget? Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor or against or needs clarification? Call it third time. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor or against or clarification for the budget? Okay. Is there anyone on the council have any last minute questions? Okay. And our public hearing is now closed. And we will move into our regular council meeting. Reports and presentations. EDA report.
So the EDA met in regular session today at noon. The main thing on our agenda is we met with Heidi Pepper from Stantec on a potential grant application for the Greater Minnesota Infrastructure Grant Program. This is a grant program that was funded with the bonding bill this year at the state legislature, so there was money put in there. This grant, if awarded, would pay for 50% of the capital costs to develop our 59-acre Unger property south of town. What the EDA had done earlier is we had requested that estimates be prepared on what it would take to completely develop that out, plat it, put in the infrastructure, sewer, water, storm, street, everything, and have it all done. Well, in the interim, this grant application opportunity arose, and so what the EDA would like to do is they would like to proceed with that application, and when we get a little more information on it and how the city would do our match, come back to the next city council to get approval to actually move forward with it. So something you'll have coming here, because we do have to put, we do have our share that we would have to come up with and have that kind of in hand at the time. And so we're going to gather everything we need together, and you'll see more of that at the next meeting. And it's a good opportunity for us. We could get over $1 million on this grant. The other thing that they did was received an update on the information center potential sale. That progress continues to move forward. It's slowly, but it's moving forward each day, so that is a good thing. We did get the final report on the CARES Act for Business Grant Program, which is now closed. We do have that potential TIF project in the industrial park. It's been kind of quiet right now. They because of the way we would set up the TIF district in the spring, so there's not a lot to do right now, but that's still in the works. And then Main Streeter Apartments had requested some assistance with their whack and sack for the new addition, and also they're recommending payment of the 2020 TIF payments. So, and those are in your claims tonight.
Okay. Anyone have any questions about the EDA? Okay. Park Board report?
The Park Board met last night in their regular session. They did receive their reports from the Public Works Parks and then the final financials for the campground for the year. They did recommend moving forward with drafting the design for the campground bathrooms. So that's something that'll come forward for final approval to go out for bids. They did discuss the relocation of the fish cleaning house, and they recommended moving forward with that, along with a purchase of a day-use dock for Sinclair Lewis Park. Those two projects actually will have some potential participation from the Conservation Club that kind of will help us get those across the finish line. They did approve refunds to the figure skating program participants due to the canceled program. We had a PowerPoint on the master park plan. One of our members is kind of doing some legwork on that. We did get the update on the challenge park, and they actually are recommending some refurbishment of the boy-girl statue at the fountain. And then also they received a bit of an update on the Rotary fundraiser, which was a fundraiser for the shelter update in the park. And that's what I have.
Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, we'll move on to action items. 7A, approve resolution 2020-105 adopting 2021 levy.
This is the one part of the budget, and I mentioned earlier we had an $8.2 million revenue budget for the city for 2021. Of that is a property tax levy of $1,973,837 to be split between various funds and debt service. That's in front of you, resolution 2020-105 for that amount.
Questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-105?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second? Second by Joe. Any last discussion? Call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7B, approve resolution 2020-106 approving 2021 budget.
This resolution before you actually adopts the expense and revenue budgets, and it lists individually the general fund departments and then also all the special revenue funds and the debt service funds individually for that total budget of $8,209,338.86. And then it also authorizes the adoption of the accompanying revenue budget.
Questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-106?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Shelley,
I'll second.
second by Heidi. Last minute discussion. Call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7C, approved payment of tax increment and abatement payments.
We have a couple tax increment payments that I mentioned at the EDA. We have the tax increment financing agreement with Sauk Center Opportunities. It was for land acquisition for Talk Inc. wind turbine project in the industrial park. Payment number 8 is due in the amount of $13,011.93. That's 95% of the tax increment collected on the parcel in 2020. It has one more year of payments until a total of $95,000 has been paid. To date, including this payment, they've paid $82,892.59. So there's approximately $12,000 which will be paid next year, and then that project fund will be closed, and then that will return to the general taxation. The city also has an agreement with Felling Trailers for the construction of the corporate office. This is the very first payment that is due. Payment number 1 represents 90% of the increment generated by the first half of taxes in 2020. Their payments come semi-annually. The first one is the second half of this year's taxes will be paid in February. So as we move forward, the first half of taxes we collect, they get paid in August. The second half, they get paid in February, and it'll do that over a period of 9 years, or until approximately $361,000 has been paid to them for reimbursement of costs. The third economic development project that is open is the Main Streeter apartment building up on North Main, where we reimburse ourselves for costs incurred to run utilities to the apartments by capturing the city's share of taxes paid and allocating it specifically to the project. That's $18,503 in city share of taxes was generated in 2020 to be transferred to that fund. And you will see on page 26, there's actually the chart, and you can kind of follow it through what I just said. And so what we're looking to do tonight is to approve those tax increment and abatement payments.
Questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve the tax increment and abatement payments?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7D, approve resolution 2020-107, interfund transfers.
Every year, we approve various transfers between funds at year end. What we have this year is to transfer the fire department's share of the city hall bond payment to the bond fund for $58,837. I believe there's 4 years left of that, or maybe 5, and then that will be done. Transfer the stormwater fees to the bond fund. That's $125,000 of stormwater utility fund goes to that 4th Street project from 2012. We transfer future equipment purchase funds to the sinking fund of $85,000. And of course, this year, we're having current year purchases coming back from the sinking fund to the general fund for $123,200. So those kind of go one each direction. The next one is the apartment building abatement that you had just approved. Gets listed in the transfer as well of $18,503.15. And then we're closing capital project funds for $823,726.69. So we have a total interfund transfers of $1,199,266.84. That's resolution 2020-107.
Questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-107?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Joe, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7E, approve resolution 2020-108, designating polling place.
So Minnesota statute now requires the city council by ordinance or resolution to designate polling places for the upcoming year. This prevents any changes or last minute changes to polling places. It catches voters by surprise. The attached resolution designates Sauk Center City Hall as the official polling place for any special election that might occur in 2021. The only way we would potentially have a special election in 2021 is if we lost a council member and we wanted to have a special election to fill that position. But generally, we would not do that. We would hold it until the midterm. But this resolution is a requirement by Minnesota statute. So resolution 2020-108, designating the polling place.
Questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-108?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Diane, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Shelley. Call the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7F, approve ambulance pay rate adjustments.
During the budget process, the 2020, or this year, the ambulance director, Kathy Strufert, included dollars for potential pay increases in the department. Proposal number 1 was a 2% increase in rates for runtime and admin pay. The number 2 one was increase in the rate for being on call on holidays to $6 per hour, which is up from $4. The holidays include New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, Easter, Memorial Day, 4th of July Day, 4th of July night, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day. These are the times we have difficulty having people be on call, and so the idea is to have it worth a little bit more to do that. And the third proposal is to change the run rate to $30 an hour if you could take a transfer greater than 50 miles from Sauk Center. In the past 12 months, there were about 50 transfers that met these criteria with an average of 5 hours. So just using those transfers, the new rate would increase the wages by $120. So the financial impact of all 3 of them, proposal number 1, which is with a 2% increase in rates for runtime and administrative pay, is $4,260. Proposal number 2, which was the change in on-call for holidays, $720. Proposal number 3, $30 per hour for when a transfer is greater than 50 miles from Sauk Center, was $6,000. So we had a total financial impact of $11,420. And this is something they believe that they can pay with existing revenues and in the existing budget. They're both here to answer any questions that you have.
Questions? Comments?
Kathy, I'm guessing you're looking probably for the entire bundle. Okay. And we discussed that to be, I don't remember seeing these proposals, but I don't remember what the dollar amount was that we had in the budget when we were discussing this increase.
You mean how many, what the total dollars in the budget
Yeah.
are? I can. Of course, the ambulance is a little hard to budget that for because it depends on how many runs they get.
Right.
So they had budgeted, you want the total budget that they have? I mean, what?
Well, I think we had, I thought we had a line item that we had looked at specifically for this increase, for an expected increase like this.
What we had was we had 2 different line items, one if we went one way and one went the other. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
And we took the one out, the one line item out, and just have a total line item that included some of these costs already in there.
That's all I'm wondering is if if that total line item was looking, or it included what this possibly could look like. Not that this is over what
I know it included the 2%. Did it include the others? Yes, yeah, okay. I'll take Tim's word for it. He has it fit. He did the math.
Okay.
Any other questions? I think considering all the runs they've been doing and the way emergency services have been getting hit and everything, and if they can cover this within their ambulance revenues, I think it's would be only right to grant the whole package to them. You know, you're looking at an impact of $11,000 and we've spent that in other ways for lesser things or needed things, so. Do I have a motion to approve the pay increases as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is that Shallon?
Yeah.
Second by Shallon. Any other last minute discussion? Call the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7G, approved pay request number 5, 2020 project.
As you said, this is pay request number 5 from Breitbach Construction. This is for the 2020, which is the Elm Street South, Elm Street North, and Lake Street project. The value completed to date so far is $826,618.35. What we're asking for tonight with this pay request is $88,028.84. So you see we've already paid them $729,000, so we're about 90% done with that project actually, or getting close. So we'll see the rest of it next year.
Any questions? Do I have a motion to approve pay request number 5?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Joe, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. 7H, approve resolution 2020-109, authorizing purchase of truck.
And I did provide you tonight with an updated spreadsheet and resolution for this proposal. On November 4th, you approved a resolution authorizing the solicitation of bids for the potential purchase of a heavy-duty truck chassis and plow body to replace our 99 truck. The timing for bidding took advantage of the current state bid so that we were able to get some better prices prior to the end of the year. We did advertise, we sent notices to all known providers of this equipment. We opened them yesterday at 11 a.m. And now what you have in front of you now is you have a spreadsheet and it lists all the different trucks down the left side and the plow bodies across the top. And so you can just kind of follow through and you can kind of see what each possible combination will render you. There's 2 of them that are demos, so they can only have, that one truck and plow body with it. And then I also have the resolution for you as well. There's a couple different things about the chassis and the trucks that I think Ben would like to talk about, because he has some recommendations on what he feels is best for the city. I'll just let him take over.
So one thing to note, I think that's important, is if you look at the Towmaster one, their first available slot is February of 2022. So if we went that route, that plow truck wouldn't even be in service until the fall of 2022. And that's not really what we're trying to accomplish with this project here. We want to get the 99 as our backup unit and get that replaced before next winter season, just because it's getting a little older and starting to cost more in repairs. So it's not a lot more money to go to the J-Craft body, and within 4 weeks of receiving the truck, they would be working on putting the box and the plow equipment and everything on it. So they would be able to have it ready for next fall. I did have them quote an option to go to all stainless steel. The reason behind that was that's just for the box and the sander. A lot of cities are actually moving towards all salt mix and no salt sand mix, and the reason for that is on those days when it's 25 degrees and you put that salt sand mix on the road, the sand isn't doing anything. It's just making a mess, and the salt is what's actually doing the work. Of course, you keep the sand around just for those really, really cold days, 20 below zero. That's the only thing that's going to provide traction. But I think in the future, we're going to be looking at going to more of a salt direction. It's more economical, more eco-friendly, and that stainless box is going to hold up considerably better than what a painted box would. And the upgrade was only $1,400, so I think that's probably money well spent on that option right there. A few things to note. The Freightliner, as you can see, came in the cheapest, and then the International was after that. A couple things about the Freightliner. There is no frame corrosion coating in that price. That's usually anywhere from $500 to $1,000. That truck came with a setback axle, and that doesn't match any of the other trucks that were quoted. That's not what you want on a plow truck. You want that axle set forward to hold the weight of the plow better. That's around $2,500 to get that to a set forward axle. And then the wiring on those Freightliners, it's still the old style. It's open-ended where it comes out of the back of the cab, and then the box manufacturer is just manually splicing onto that, where the other trucks actually have like a multiplex system where it's kind of computer controlled, and things can have, it's like an addressable system to each electronic component, and it's a plug and play. So there's factory sealed connections that they're using to plug in, which obviously reduces the risk of corrosion or wires breaking, or just makes a lot better connection and less issues down the road. So with those few things, I think you would add up much quicker than the International. However, I think that in the best interest of, this is more than a 20-year truck. I know we say they're 20-year trucks. They're 20-year, service duty trucks, and then after that, they spend the next 10 years as snow haulers or wood chip haulers. So these trucks are around for 30 years. My recommendation would be to go with the Western Star truck with the J-Craft stainless. Overall, if you compare that to the Freightliner, it's about a $10,000 difference, and $10,000 is certainly a lot of money and something to be prudent with, but I think when you look at that over a 30-year period, you're talking less than $500 a year to go with the truck that is built a lot better, has better components. The truck cab itself on that Western Star is bigger. It has more room for everything that you put inside. I mean, you've got sander controls, plow controls, all that stuff gets crammed inside the cab of these trucks, and it gets tight pretty quick. And we have some fairly tall people on our crew, so they certainly welcome a little bit more cab room than what some of the standard trucks offer. So that would be helpful. It does have the most bodybuilder-friendly wiring with that multiplex system like I talked about with the plug and play. Simple things that don't seem like a big deal, but it's stuff that they looked at. You know, the batteries are in the cab. They're protected from the elements. They're not out in the weather. They're not in the salt and the corrosion. Another simple thing, mirror mounts. They're on the cab of this truck. Most of them are on the doors, and that provides a huge blind spot when you're actually sitting in an intersection trying to look out, and you've got those arms sitting there, and you can't see past those. With them set forward like that and mounted off the cab, and this truck actually has a solid window on each side, so you don't have that line from the little A window, if you want to call it that. So that also reduces a blind spot. So I think this truck, just from a safety and visibility standpoint, offers the best out of any of them that we looked at. That's kind of the basics of everything that we found here, and just wanted to give you guys the information that I had and make a decision from there.
Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Kind of follow with what he was.
Yeah, so we're looking at the model that would come out to be 201, 158 total.
Yes.
Okay.
At first I seen the Western Star listed twice, but I see the one's the demo, so I know which one you got.
Okay.
Okay. Comments, any concerns about going with the stainless steel box? Or are you, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I trust Ben knows what he's talking about.
I was just wondering if you're gonna go to pure salt, were you thinking about just going with the brine tanks
Down the road, yes.
eventually?
Yep, eventually. And that's something I'm working with the watershed with, because there's actually could be some potential participation from them to help purchase a system like that. So that's why it's not included with this truck, because I want to work with them first if there's an opportunity for money there.
Okay. So the overall turnaround time as far as getting this truck in our fleet is
6 months.
6 months?
Wow.
Rather than what we were looking at before?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions or concerns? Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-109, going with the Western Star from Boyer truck with the stainless steel box from J-Craft? Total of 201, 158.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Heidi. Call the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5 in favor, none against.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7I, approve the grant application for the outdoor hockey rink.
This is the item that we added to the agenda tonight. The Black Oak Getty Wind Farm has a grant program that we would like to apply for rinks or boards for the outdoor rink. And we're looking to apply for a grant from them for $15,000. And then part of the grant application does require approval from the City Council to apply. So I have before you Resolution 2020-11 supporting the grant application for the Black Oak Getty Wind Farm grant.
Questions? Concerns? I think if we got a chance to get some money to help us get that fixed, it'd be a good thing. Do I have a motion to approve grant application or resolution 2020-17? Motion to approve. Motion by Joe, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Shelley. Call the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. We have no unfinished business. New business, special assessment policy amendments.
What this is we've talked over the years about, it's time to amend our special assessment policy, or at least to review it in more detail. And so we'd like to kind of kick that project off, and I just wanted to get the council, you know, do you want to send that to operations committee, or do you want to send that like to policy committee? We'll wait till the committee actually gets probably appointed, because a new one will be on board on the 1st of the year. I just wanted to start getting things together and get you your blessing to send it to committee for update.
Council's wishes. I think it makes sense to go to
Operations. Finance? Yeah.
You know, because finance, you know, the assessments affect the budget and taxes. So
Yeah.
if we go to finance, if it needs to go to policy after that, or we can do that. Sounds good. So,
Okay.
general consensus to go with that. Okay.
Finance? Is that what you said? Okay.
Brings us to our consent agenda. I have an updated schedule of claims here. No schedule of claims, unpaid claims of $164,761.83. Just one change on one of the bills by $40. Paid claims of $21,302.86 for a total of $186,064.69. We have resolution number 2020-110, accepting contributions of $72.18 from the Men's Garden Playing Group to be allocated to the Senior Center, $1,000 from the Sauk Center Seniors to be allocated to the Senior Center, and 6 picnic tables from Anna Griffey and Melanie Quick to be allocated to the Park Department. And on behalf of the city, I want to acknowledge those people for their contribution and thank them. Is there any questions about the consent agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Heidi, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Diane. Call the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. We have no informational items, so that brings us to the end of our agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Diane, do I have a second? Second by Joe. Call the question, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5 in favor, none against. Meeting adjourned.